Okay? So, very quickly, one more time. Step one, isolate the x squared, however it's written, either just with the x or with the parentheses. That's how we have to have it to solve it. We're going to take the root of both sides. The number of solutions has to do with where does it intersect that x-axis. One solution means it's intersecting that x-axis at the vertex. Two solutions means that my parabola, or my quadratic function, is intersecting that x-axis twice, which means it's going to go below it or above it, depending on which way it opens, right? But I'm going to intersect that x-axis twice. And if I have no solutions, it's not intersecting or touching that x-axis at all, just as a reminder. Okay? Now, the first examples we are going to do, ax squared minus c equals 0. My bx, remember this is ax squared plus bx plus c is my formula here. There's no b. So if the b is missing, this is how we solve them. Okay? So let's look at example A. All right, here we go. So 4x squared minus 5 equals 2. Keeping in mind that I am trying to isolate that x squared right there. I need it to be alone. Okay? And when I find the answer, okay, in the directions, and this is what we're going to do all the way through, we're going to approximate the answer to 2 decimal points, 2 decimal places. So if you get a decimal in your answer, you're going to use 2 of those places. That's it. Okay? So here we go. If I'm going to get to the correct example here. All right. I need this to be alone. I got the 4 being multiplied and I got the 5 being subtracted. Whenever I solve any equation, I always get rid of the addition or subtraction first. So I'm going to get rid of minus 5. What's the inverse of minus 5? Plus 5 to the opposite side. There's a 0. That one goes away. So now I have 4x squared equals 7. Still solving. Divide the 4 away, opposite side. There's my 1. And now I have x squared equals 7 over 4. Okay, nothing new there. Just solve an equation. Here's the part that's new. I've got to get rid of this square in order to find out what x is. What is the inverse or the opposite of squaring something? Taking the root of it. That's right. So what I do on one side, I got to do on the other. So we're taking the square root of both sides. That's why we have to do it that way. Remember, what you do on the left, you got to do on the right, blah, blah, blah. Okay. The only thing that happens on this side, ladies and gentlemen, is the root and the square cancel each other. So whatever is inside is what we bring down. The only thing that goes away is the square and the root. Whatever's inside comes down. The square is gone, the root is gone. Now, what is the square root of 7 over 4? Okay, so how do you, well, I agree with where you are. Tell me how you got there. How do we get to the root? Where's the square root button? There, very good. Second, x squared. You need to make a note of that if you don't remember that. Okay? And then I got to type it in as a fraction. Somebody tell me how to get to the fraction place. Alpha y equals. No, not that. Stop it. I pushed 3 buttons at the same time. Okay? There we go. And so now I'm going to type 7 over 4. And when I push enter, I've got a big old long decimal. Remember, when you have a decimal and I only want two places, if there are more than two places, we always round. Always. Don't ever ask. You have to do it. That's just naturally what we do. So I need two decimal places. So I've got 1.32. And it's an approximate answer. So it can't be equals, right? Now I will sometimes get an equals, it equals something, but if I have to round a number, okay, then it is not equal, it's approximate to 1.32. Now, here's the special part of this, just as a reminder. Approximately 1.32 times 1.32 is 7 over 4. Do you all agree? So it's positive. Do you agree that approximately approximately negative 1.32 times negative 1.32, does that also make a positive 7 over 4? Yes, it does. This is how we write it to include both answers. Because a positive times a positive is going to give me that positive answer, yes? A negative times a negative is going to give me that positive answer. So if you don't put both of these, it's wrong. You must include both answers, okay? And that's the short way of writing that instead of writing them separate, okay? I don't need you to write x is approximately positive and x is, just put it together, but put that plus or minus in front of it, okay? Questions about that? Okay. Let's go to example B. All right. 2x squared minus 8 equals 0. Again, we're isolating this x squared so that I can solve for x. Okay? Get rid of the subtraction first. What's the inverse of subtracting 8? Adding 8 to the other side. There's my 0 on that side. 2x squared equals 8. X squared not isolated yet because I still got a 2 with it. It's got to go away. So I'm going to divide by that 2 on the opposite side. That makes that a positive 1. And x squared equals what? I agree. To solve for x, I got to get rid of the square. How do I get rid of squares? Root them. Remember to do that on both sides. And the only thing that the root removes is that square. They are now canceled. And what's inside comes down. And what is the square root of 4? 2. Both of them. Positive 2 and negative 2. And this one is equal, isn't it? There's no decimal involved. There it is. Questions? Yes, ma'am. Yes, because what is 2 times 2? What is negative 2 times negative 2? There you go. That's a great question. Thank you. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Let's go to example C. 4x squared plus 5 equals 3. All right. Get rid of plus 5 by doing what? Minus it from the opposite side. 4x squared equals negative 2. Now what? Is the x squared isolated? Yes or no? No. How do I get rid of 4? Divide it away. Very good. X squared equals negative 1 half. Okay? Root both sides so that I can solve for x. Root and square cancel. Bring down what's inside, which is x. And what does x equal? Type that in. What is the square root of negative 1/2? Everybody's typing that in and getting an answer. I'm looking at you. Did y'all get that too? Is that error? Thank you. It is an error. Why? Who said that? Thank you. Because it's negative. And in Algebra 1, we don't take negative, we can't take the root of negative numbers. So if it's an error, what is my actual answer? No solution. No real numbers. Something like that, but no solution. Okay? There is no solution for Algebra 1. Questions? So if you get a negative, if x squared equals a negative answer, it's no solution every single time. Okay? D. Get that answer for me, please. Do that now. Check your answer with someone, please. Once you've got it. I should hear you sharing your answers. Okay, and then you can check yours with mine. There you go. How many of you got that? Excellent. Excellent. I like it. Yes. Awesome. Okay. Let's go down to explain number 2 and look at our examples down here because now we've got our B. And notice how B is on the inside of the parentheses. Okay? All right. We're always, if we get decimals, we're going to approximate to 2 decimal places. On your homework, it's going to say get your answer in radical form and then check with your calculator. We're not doing that. Okay? Radical form means to leave the answer with the square root. We're not doing that. We're always getting decimal answers, okay? So in your homework, don't let that confuse you. We're always doing it like we are doing our notes, okay? So let me just tell you that before that comes up. Okay, here we go. So here is my first example, and here are my parentheses, and there's a square on the outside. To know if it's isolated, is there anything to the left of the parentheses? Nope. Is there anything to the right of the parentheses? And remember, I'm talking about on this side of the equal sign. Is there anything there? No. So this is isolated. My parentheses squared are isolated. So I'm going to go ahead and I can take the root of this side and that side. Okay? Because remember, I'm isolating whatever is squared. It's already isolated. The root and the square cancel each other. That's the only thing that happens. Now the root is gone and the square is gone. So now I bring down what's there. X plus 5 equals, and then what is the square root of 36? 6. Positive 6 and negative 6. Okay. To find the solutions, or the zeros, we have to work these separately now. Because now I have got to solve. So x plus 5 equals my positive 6, and x plus 5 equals my negative 6. And this is how you find both of them. Subtract 5 here, make that go away. X equals 1. Subtract 5 here, that's my 0. X equals negative 11. And these are my two answers. So, once you root both sides, you're going to have two answers here. You have to solve them separately to get those answers. Okay? Questions. Solve them separately. Okay. Let's go to my second example here. Here are my parentheses. Are they isolated? No. What's on the outside that has to go away? 3. It's being multiplied since it's right next to the parentheses. That means it's being multiplied. Yep, divide it to make it go away. 3 divided by 3 is 1. They're gone. Divide by 3. I have done nothing with the parentheses or the square, so you bring them down. Parentheses, x minus 5 squared equals 6. Questions? Okay. Now I can get rid of that square. How do I get rid of squares? Root them is exactly right. The root and the square cancel each other. And what I have left is what's inside. X minus 5. I no longer need the parentheses because the square is gone. So that's where you get rid of the parentheses. Once the square is gone, the parentheses go away too. And what is the square root of 6? No. 2.45. Remember to always round that final number. Okay. Now we have to do two problems. X minus 5 equals 2.45. X minus 5 equals negative 2.45. And then you just solve them. Plus 5 here. That goes away. X equals 7.45. Add 5 here. That goes away. What does X equal? 2.55 is correct. Make sure you type those in to get those correct, because you're subtracting those. Questions about the process? Make sure you're typing these in to get those correct, because you're subtracting them. Go to my third example. What would I need to do first? By 4 to get rid of it. Because remember, here are my parentheses, and I have to isolate that square, and that's the way to do it. 4 divided by 4 is 1. X plus 10 squared equals 24. And then what would I do? You are correct. Divide by 4. Excellent. And that would be what? 6. Yeah, there we go. Excellent. That's why I typically divide at the same time. I don't know, I got excited. And now we take the square root of both sides. Okay, we're going to stop there. I just want to make sure you have that process. Are you good? Questions? Anything on the outside must be removed through opposite operations. Then take the root, and then you're good to go. Okay, turn the page. We're going to talk about this real world situation here. And I'm going to show you how we go from area to perimeter. Here we go. A contractor is building a fenced-in playground at a daycare. The playground is rectangular. Here we go, rectangle. Okay, here's my rectangle. All right, here's what I know. Its width is equal to half the length. The total area 5,000 square feet. Okay. The width equals half the length. Okay, that's good to know. The total area is 5,000 square feet. Determine how many feet we need. So I'm just looking for feet. That tells me I need the perimeter. Feet squared, or square feet, tells me that I need the area because I'm multiplying. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Feet tells me I need perimeter because I'm adding. Square feet tells me I'm multiplying, so that's area. Okay, here we go. Area equals length times width. My area is 5,000 feet. Length times width. And we're going to use X here because that's what we're used to using. But I'm going to put the width first because it doesn't matter which way you write it. But I like for my number by itself to be on the outside. So length times width. The width is X. The length is half of that. Okay? X times 1/2 x is 1/2 x squared. Because as a reminder, when we multiply with exponents, we add them. 1 plus 1 is 2. And we just bring the number with it. Okay? I'm solving for area. Here is my formula. I know it's 5,000 equals, I've got width times length. Okay? Now, I've got 5, I don't know why. Okay, now, how do I get rid of this 1/2 if it's being multiplied? Divide it. 1/2 times 1/2 is 1. What is 5,000 divided by 1/2? Type that in, please. Give me an answer. What you got? You what? 10,000. Anybody else got 10,000? Excellent. It is 10,000. Now, but I want to know what x is. How do I get rid of the square? Take the root of it. I agree. Okay. Root and square cancel. X is going to be equal to, what is the root of 10,000? 100. Now, you know we've been writing plus or minus in front of it, but I'm building a fence. Negative 100 feet. Does that make sense to you? Can we have negative fencing? Can't have negative length, so I can't have negative feet. So this is the answer to area. I want to find the perimeter. So let's go back to our rectangle. The width we just found to be 100. So then what would the length be? 50. So what does the perimeter equal? If this was 100, how much is this one? Yeah. 300 feet, because we add. Perimeter means we add all the way around, which means you need all the numbers. 50 plus 50 is 100, plus 100 plus 100 is 300. All right, questions about that? Okay. You have one question like that in your homework, so make sure you have your notes available to follow those. All right, here we go. Got a little summary down here for us. You ready? No real solution means that x squared equals what? Look on the front. Remember, it's in your note to self. If you have no real solutions, what does my x squared equal? A negative answer. Gotcha. If I only have one solution, what does my x squared equal? 0. And if I have two solutions, what does my x squared equal? Positive answer. Okay? Tells me how many times my parabola is going to intersect the x-axis. Okay? Questions. Okay. Your homework, page 1039, 4 through 14, and 16. Okay? So there that is.